Hi, welcome to ITech 136 Principles of Programming. In this lecture, we are going to talk about string length, concatenation, and string transversal. You can use the Len length function to find how many characters are in a string. Because a string index starts at 0, the last index is always 1 less than the length of the string. And accessing an outbound index is one of the most common errors that students make. The index had to be inbound within the valid index. So let's take a look at this example. So if I have a string, I take 136 rocks, and if I say print the length of the string, it tells me 14. If I say, hey, give me what is at index 14, it's an error. You get an index out range error because 14 is not a valid index. You can use the plus or the concatenation operator to concatenate, meaning to append two strings together. You have seen example like this before. I can have greeting is hello plus world become hello world. You cannot make string concatenation with number. However, you can convert the number into a string. For example, if I try this in the Python shell, 20 plus 20 is an error. But I can convert the number 20 into a string by using the string conversion function. And as you can see, when you concatenate, it's just an append. For the string, it's just an append, so it doesn't really add the number, even though it looks like a number. The multiplication operator also works on string. If I do like a fun time 3, you get fun. Let's try that. Which of the following lines of code will print I take 136 rocks? You might want to pause the video before revealing the answer. Is A the correct answer? I hope everybody see A is incorrect because it doesn't have quote. It's missing the quote here. As a result, this is a syntax error. How about B? Well, B is an I take 136 and var1 is an I take 136. var2 is a rocks. So when I concatenate together, I do get I take 136 rocks. What about C? Well, C, you will get I take 136 rocks without the space in the middle. Take a look closely. There's no space here, and there's a space here. When you concatenate string, Python is not a mind reader, so it's only concatenate whatever the data is. If you don't put a space here, you will not have a space at the output. So pay attention to this little detail. What about this one? What is the output? So the greeting is what and space and name. What is I like, and the space name is I tech 136. So I hope everybody like I tech 136. What about this? And when you look at this subscript, it will be easier if you write down the subscript number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then message sub 3, that's your letter C in ITech. Message sub -5, so this would be -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5. That would be the O in the rocks. Message sub 0 is a I. message sub -1 is the exponential point. The length of the message 0 to 13 has 14 characters. And message sub length of message is error because it's our bound index. Since a string is a sequence of characters, we use for loop a lot when you try to iterate over the string. In this example, I have a string iTag136 for char in string. When you write for loop or any loop, use a meaningful descriptive variable name. I like to use char for char in the name of the string variable, because when you're using descriptive name, the loop read like an English. For char in string, for every character in string, print the character. This is kind of how you read this loop here. It will print every character. And you can watch my for loop tutorial video if you have more questions about the for loop. So let's do some exercise here. Write a function called reverse that take a string as input. It return the reverse of the string input. For example, if reverse iTag136 is called, then the reverse is 631CETI. Do not use a string slice notation with a negative stripe or any method to refer the string. Use string accumulator pattern. What is a string accumulator? Well, let's find out. Let me call this reverse. I have a function called reverse, and you can reverse a string. So let's put a message here. Reverse a message. So let's try to make sure we don't have any syntax error first, and then we will tackle this. So what is a string accumulator? Well, what is an accumulator for number? In the accumulator for number, you start with a number equal to 0. In the accumulator for number, you start with a number equal to 0. Remember that? And then you do something like for num in range, for example, let's say 10, total equal to total plus num. This is for number. And this is a accumulator pattern for number. Well, let's do this for string. It's very similar. Let's start with, for number we start at 0. For string, let me call this result. We start with empty string. And then we have in the for the number, we iterate every single number in the list, in the range. So we can do the similar for char in message. For every character in the message. Now normally you will add the number to the end. But if I look at the string reversal, so if I have a letter I tag 136, first time I get the I, so I put the I here. The next I get the T. If I want to reverse the pattern, where do I put the T? I put the T in front of the I. Next, I get the E. I put the E in front of the T. And then C, I put the C in front of the E. And then 1, and then 3, and then 6. What you notice is, instead of adding the number to the right, I add the string to the left. Pay attention to that little detail. So in the programming, Here I did before, I add a number this way, but using the same idea, result would be the character plus result. Taking what my current result is, I prepend, instead of append, I prepend the the character to the front of it instead of to the end. And then I return the result. You can see that reverse of an ITAT 136 is 631 CETI. And I can try other reverse. This is a test. Now, a lot of time you will see you cannot use other method to do the operation because we want you to learn how to use, in this case, loop accumulator. So take a look at this example, how to use an accumulator. And let's do another example. You remember the triangle problem? Modify the triangle tree problem and use a string accumulator pattern to draw these triangle trees. And can you draw other tree? Well, how do I use a string accumulator? The string accumulator is for this line. I can accumulate instead of draw each print each line with the asterisk. I can create a string with these asterisk in it. So let's do some quick example how to do this. Let's call the draw line numchar like we had before, and we can also have the default to the asterisk. And using what we just talked about earlier in the reverse example about accumulator, we start with a empty string, and then we have a loop for num in range numchar. It's similar to what you did in the other example. So for how many for number character in numchar, I want to append. In this case, I want to append the char to the end. So I start with the empty string. I will append one character, two character, three asterisk until number of char. This loop will just keep doing for how many char I have, and then I return the result. I will do one draw right triangle, and maybe leave the other for you to do. And if you recall, we have a loop for row in range. I go from 1 to rows plus 1. And I can call the drawLine function to draw number row. So let's test this out. Let's call draw right triangle 5. I forgot a colon here. Let's see. And this gives you a right triangle this way. And how would you draw the second triangle? Well, it's very similar. call the downright triangle with number of rows, and for row in range 1, instead of that is going down from rows to 0, -1, and print draw line and number of row. So draw down. Let's see if I get this right. And you can also do the draw center triangle with number of rows. And this again, I'm just using my previous example. And for the center triangle, you don't forget you need to draw the space. So for row in range 1, 2 rows plus 1, I want to draw the space first. And with the space, and I want to hold the line, so I want to make sure the line did not advance to the next line. And then I draw the line with 2 rows minus 1, the odd number, if you recall. If you don't recall, take a look at my previous video. And let me draw the center triangle with 5 and see. Oops. I think I did the, this is 2 times row minus 1. Now I got the center triangle. Take a look at how to use the string accumulator to accumulate the string result. Thank you.